welcome to the Life Career Roadmap, a new episode. And today with my special guest, David Zapata. So, David, welcome to the Life Career Roadmap channel.
Hi, Sima. Yes, thank you for having me.
Okay, so David, I have known you for a while. I'd like you to introduce yourself and let us know where you come from and what is your professional background.
Okay, so I am Colombian, and I am a mechanical engineer from Colombia. I did my bachelor's degree back home, and I have advanced diploma in logistics as well. My journey started in 2009 when I made the decision to migrate to Australia. That's pretty much the starting point.
Which part
Yes.
of Colombia are you from?
Okay. So I am from Medellin,
Oh,
Colombia.
Medellin.
Yes,
You will say
Medellin. Yes,
Medellin. How you say in Spanish?
Medellin.
Medellin.
Yes,
So you know
Medellin.
that we are, let's say neighbors, right? Because I am your
Correct.
neighbor. Yeah, I was born in Amazon. Yeah.
Ah, Leticia, close to what's the name of the city, Brazilian city, down there?
You have, oh, I forgot to. I am from there, but I have
I
been away for
forgot.
so long.
I
Is
forgot.
I forgot to. It's Leticia in, yeah,
Para. I
no.
forgot. I forgot.
So that let's go. So
Mm,
we are I got neighbors from that
yeah,
area,
pretty much.
right? So
Yes.
we grew up with lots of Colombians around and traveling a lot,
Oh,
Venezuelans and well, Peruvians. So it's so nice to get this other side of the world and meet you here,
yes,
right?
true.
So let's go then. You were born in Colombia, and when did you
Yes.
decide then that you'd like to be a mechanical engineer? Was something that you had in your mind since you were little, or you
Yes.
just like someone told you this is the best career?
And when I was a kid, I was always interested in machines and cars and aircraft and building. And we have this set of Legos that we build houses and we build machines and those sort of stuff. So yes, from the beginning, when I was a kid, I liked it, all those sort of stuff. I used to pull apart my toys and put it all together. So yes, it was something that I had since I was 6, 7 years old. So that's when it all started pretty much. Yes.
Yes. And so tell me another thing. So deciding
Yeah.
to do a mechanical engineering with all this interest in building and fixing things,
Correct.
and you then went to university. Did you work
Yeah.
back in Colombia as well, or before you migrate to Australia, or not?
Yes. Yes. So I started working in a paper company,
Mhm.
pulp paper company, and then after that I moved to mining service company. So we pretty much were a massive workshop for mining services. I stayed there for 3 years, and after 2009, that was the financial crisis in US.
Mhm.
The economy with Colombia wasn't great, so I was not fired. What's the word? Redundant. They gave me redundancy, and at that point, I decided, well, I need to do something. I
Mhm.
went back to my uni and I asked a couple of my professors. And by that time, there was one lawyer from the same my university. He was having these chats and talks about migration to Australia. So that's
Mhm.
where the little bug started to bite me. And then I went to those chats and I was hooked. I liked it since the beginning, and then that was 2010 by that time. So I pretty much did the roadmap with them. So they said to me, you need first your English exam done.
Mhm.
And according to your experience, because you already got experience as a mechanical engineer, I think the list, you need to do 3 essays to validate to your career in Australia. So I started the process first, um, step by step. I did my English studies. I decided to do my English studies, so I went to Brisbane for in 2012
Mhm.
for 5 months. I stayed in Brisbane 5 months. I did the IELTS studies and I presented the IELTS test. I had an overall of 6.5, which is good, but
It's
my overall, according to the requirements on that time, at that time, it was 7. So I was 0.5 short. Exactly. But the funny thing is, because they take your lowest range. So in writing, in speaking and listening, I was really good, and I was 8 and 7.5. But the writing was my weakest point, and that was they got 6.5. When I went back to the migration agents, and they say that is not a problem. You actually can apply for the visa. We need an extra points. That's all, and those extra points were provided by the states. So I had 2 options, WA or South Australia. And I did my research. I already knew that WA was a big state for mining. So I decided WA because of that, and it's massive. So I thought, well, definitely there's something I can do. If I go there, I definitely will find a job and will find a stable my life and settle my life and get a financial better situation of myself. So we did that. Apply for the points. I did my my three essays, my technical essays, and it was a coming forward. There was a lot of feedback from them, because it's a list that you had to check. It's like a checklist when you write the essays, and you have to take all these requirements on those essays. So for me, it was 3. There were 3. It took me 6 months to write them, to write those essays, and after the essays, the other thing left was the medical exams, which was actually I had an issues with those medical exams because they lost them on the mail. So exactly, so I lost 6 months of my life trying to chase those exams, those medical exams. After 6 months, they told me no, there's nothing here, so I had to do it again. And
it's just
yes,
disappeared.
it was bad luck pretty much. So I did those again, sent back, because Colombia doesn't have a embassy or consulate, Australian consulate, so I had to send those papers to Chile. So I had to call Chile and then verify that they were on the embassy in Australia. So it was there, everything was settled, done. They sent me the paperwork. They sent me the letter saying, congratulations, you have the Engineers Australia certificate, which means that you are a mechanical engineer in Australia for migration purposes. And I have my PR as a result, because I applied as a skilled worker. So they gave me a PR, and it was exciting. But I had that on 2014, August 2014. I didn't have enough money to travel in August. I couldn't jump in a plane and straight go to Australia. So I had to wait and save a little bit of money. I was working there back home, had to save a little bit of money. And I said to myself, okay, I'm going in December, 3 months for that. And that's when I flew on the 4th of December. I left Colombia, 2014. I arrived the 6th of December, 2014 in Perth. And
Wow.
that's where my journey begins. Yeah.
So, and for you, from the beginning, when you heard the presentation about Australia, you got hooked by the idea of coming to Australia. Did you have any idea before, or any thought about migrating to another country, or was this presentation the first time when you faced an opportunity or a thought that, well, I can go somewhere else?
Yes, it was not the first. I was exploring the possibility to go to the Middle East, because they at that time there were shortage of engineers as well in Dubai and pretty much the Emirates, United States, United Arab Emirates. But I was a bit afraid of the language barrier, because I know the Arabic language is a bit complex, and it's hard to start over a language from scratch, that you have to learn how to write, how to pronounce, and all sort of stuff. I did ask and looked for those sort of topics on the internet, but I didn't dug much into it. US was another option. But at that time, US was not attractive for me because a friend of mine was there and she was struggling a bit with the medical insurance and sort of stuff. And I just explored another options, and then from out of the blue, it came this lawyer from the uni and said, "Well, check this Australia," and then yeah, he was perfect. He was great.
Yeah. So, and then from the time then you heard this lawyer talking about the possibility of moving to Australia and planning and arriving in Australia took you 2 years, is that right?
2 years, yes,
2 years.
that's correct. Yes,
So,
took me 2 years.
yeah, and many things that people don't think about is applying as a skilled visa, right? They want to come as a student, and then later on they have their assessment done. So you did the things before you get the assessment done, and when you came with your PR already. Yes. Is that right?
Yes. Yes. So it's a different process. I would say I wanted to do it this way because I thought it was a quicker way. That was the quickest way to do it. But there's nothing wrong with being a student, and you enjoy your life as a student, and then you can progress from your English studies, and then you jump to the professional studies. I think is actually really interesting, and because you know the market from zero, and that's when you get advantage over people that migrate. So if you study a certificate for on TAFE or a diploma, I think you have that extra knowledge of how Australian market it is. It doesn't matter if you're studying, but you already know you can sense things, you can see things, you can check the news. You are surrounded by professionals, and you have professors, and I think that's a massive advantage you got. But yes, I did it in that way. I think it was not the wrong way. There's no wrong way. There's no
It's
wrong
not
way.
wrong way. Yeah.
Exactly. It is what was, I guess. For me, it worked. It worked at the end, but it took me after a bit.
That's what I want to talk right now. So
Yes.
people, when they are thinking about applying for the skilled visa, and they think, oh, I got a visa, now I'm permanent, so I go there and get a job. What's the
Yes.
real story behind scenes? And you get here
Yes.
and you arrive and say, what can I do now?
Yes, exactly. So I arrived at December 2014, right?
December, when
and
everything is done for
it
Christmas.
was slowing down, and it was slowing down. The mining boom, the massive mining boom they have in 2013 and 14, it was down. So I couldn't find a job in mining or any engineering. I have a couple of persons that I knew. That was one guy was working in construction, but he was struggling to get his job, to keep his job, so he couldn't help me. So I started from scratch. That's what I decided. Okay, I need to pay my bills. I need a job, whatever it is, doesn't matter. So I started washing cars. Simple as that. I went to I think it's a company in Canning Vale, I believe. They have this massive yard with cars, and they said to us, "Listen, you come here, wash a car, and it's it's $5 per car. If you wash a big car, you get $12. That's it." And I was not making a lot of money. I was struggling financially. But I bought a bicycle with the little money I have. Obviously, I have support from home, from my mom and my dad. That's definitely make a difference. But I wasn't. You know how when you get to a certain age when you think I cannot get more support from them. I need to be self-sufficient. I cannot be asking more. That's an yes. At that point, I was at that point. So I said leave me alone. I just want to try to do it by myself. And so I went to this dealership, Toyota dealership, New Town Toyota, I remember. And I said, well, I arrived in Australia a couple of weeks ago. I had bachelor's degree, but I'm looking for a job, whatever it is. And I say, well, I'm able, I like washing cars. I am good at it. And the service manager looked at me and said to me, well, you're a mechanical engineer and you want to wash cars. And yeah, I said, well, I need to pay my bills. And he said, oh, that's fair. That's actually fair. He said, you are the first person said that to me. You are the first person that come in person to talk to the company and ask for the job. So after we had a chat, and that late afternoon, he called me back and said, "Yeah, you got a job." So I washed cars from January 2015 to October 2015, that same year, for 8 months. I was washing cars. I had a salary. I have a insurance. I have Medicare access. I have holidays, the leave time and all sort of stuff. So it was like a full-time job, all benefits. But obviously, you think, well, what am I doing? My grade as a skill visa and I'm washing cars. So in October, my luck changed. Because I have an advanced diploma logistics, I applied for a job in the warehouse in the airport, in the regional airport. And I wasn't expecting anything, zero at all. I just sent it. I looked at it and seek. I sent my resume, zero expectations. And I had a call back from the supply manager. He said, "Well, would you like to come to an interview?" And I said, "Well, of course." I went there and I had an interview. And it was funny because it's the first time in an interview that the interviewer, which is the HR and the supply manager, said to me, "Would you mind to explain us on the whiteboard?" Yes, explain us how inventory works. And I at that point I was so excited. I just did it, but I wasn't realizing. I just got started to try. I like those sort of topics, so I started to talk and I started to write in the whiteboard and all sort of things. And at some point I was so excited. I wasn't even looking at them. I was concentrating on my board and writing and scratching it. And when I looked back, there were the HR and the supply manager. They were laughing, but not like a malicious laugh. They were laughing because it was funny how that ended up.
They saw your excitement.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. After that, they say, "Well, thank you. We'll call you back if anything comes up." And a week after that, they said to me, "Well, you got a job. The only thing left is your medicals," and the medicals were good. And I started in the airport as they call it, logistics supply officer. That's the name. That's the position, supply officer. So at that time, I didn't know, but that warehouse was part of a maintenance organization. So they pretty much do maintenance on aircraft. I didn't know that at that time. When I started, I just started to see these planes coming up and back and forward. These guys putting engines apart and putting things apart. And I was like, I want to do that. I definitely want to go. Yes, exactly. I want to do that. So 6 months in the job, I talked to the engineering manager and I said to him, "Well, these are my qualifications and I want to jump on the floor. I want to go an aircraft maintenance engineer." And they said, "Well, that's quite impressive. You got a bachelor's degree and you got this and you got this experience and all sort of stuff." And but it's a different trade. It's a different a career path. So one is a bachelor's degree, the other one, which is I've done in Colombia, and this one is in aircraft maintenance engineering, which is more related to the trade type of career. And they said that to me. I say, "Yeah, that's fine. I can take it." And after they said to me, "Well, you have to wait for 6 more months, so you will get an apprenticeship. We would like to give you an apprenticeship." And that's fine. I say, "Well, that's pretty cool. I can wait six months." And then after the 6 months, they say, "Sorry, no, this year we're not gonna intake any apprentices. So you have to wait for another year." It was a bit of disappointment. I started to apply for other jobs, and I thought, let's okay. I was feeling staggered. No, it's not staggered. Like
You're motivated to be there.
no, yes, exactly. So it's not progression there. I was stuck there. But I had a chat with a couple of guys on the floor, the aircraft engineers, and they say, "No, just wait for it. It's pretty good. This is nice. It's a good career path. Money wise, it's fine. It's a stable job. You can settle and all sort of stuff." So I waited. Another year. They gave me the apprenticeship. I started my aircraft maintenance engineer certificate for mechanical skills, and it was great. I loved it. It was it was amazing. Those 4 years were really good. I met a lot of people, good people. The company grew so fast. We started with, when I started the company, we were probably 70 people, and after 4 years, we were probably 500. It grew really fast and really quick. Yes. At that point, because it was a regional airline. At that point, Qantas took over. So that's when it exploded pretty much. Start to get new people, more aircraft, more equipment, and all sort of stuff. And I did, after my 4th year, I started my diploma. So there's 2 steps with that a trade, aircraft maintenance engineering. There's two steps. One is the certificate where you can work on planes, but you cannot sign and you cannot release them. So you have to do a diploma. So it's more exams, more studies. So you have to be more knowledgeable, which is obviously because you have to sign for the plane and you have to make sure that everything is correct. So I finished up my diploma, and at that point, I wanted to leave the company because of the work environment wasn't good. It was a bit toxic. So there was a lot of fights. It was the union was involved as well. So there was some rumors of strikes and all sort of stuff. So I decided just look for another career path. Not career path, but go back to my bachelor's with the knowledge I have about trade and working with my hands and tools, which is a perfect combination. So at that point, I contact you. I contact you and I say, well, Sema, I'm trying to, get my bachelor's degree career path again, my mechanical engineering career back again on road. And what can we do? I have already got maintenance engineer experience, and that's when I contacted Daniel Rivera because of you. I had a chat with him, and he said to me, "You have an impressive resume." And at that point, it's this thing that you don't believe in yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
And you don't think you're good enough. It's that thing. It is bad. At that point, I realized, well, okay, this person is really telling me that I'm really good. And it was like a open my eyes, definitely. That opened my eyes because you feel like you're never good enough for the things that is happening to the rest of the people. It's like, why is happening to this guy, to that guy, not
Not
to
with
me?
me. You're right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And they say, no, it's really good. I think there's a chance to get you on board of a mining company. Had a good contact with them. Let me see if they want you on board because they actually need a person with experience in maintenance. And I had a chat with Daniel, sent my resume, and he said to the person on the mining, the superintendent on the mining mining company, and they said yes, it's impressive. Send him, please. And I jumped on board of Daniel's companies, and I spent 3 months on the mining side. It was great. I loved it. It was I learned a lot. I realized that I'm really good at. I realized that.
Like
I
head in
exactly.
your shoulder. Hey, guy, you.
Yes, exactly. I'm not. Yeah, it's a bit. I don't want to be cocky, sound cocky, but it is that like yes, I actually know stuff. I actually know how to do things. I know that I can make decisions. I can deal with people. I can fix things. It was great. Yeah, and for 3 months, I moved to because with Daniel we worked as a contractor,
Yes.
so I'm an employee of him, but I'm moving on mine side
Different
and
projects.
offices and different jobs and stuff, which is perfect because a lot of things to learn and a lot of people to meet. And right now I am working on a lithium mining company. Lithium mining company. Exactly. It's amazing. I love it. Yes.
So,
That's pretty good.
David, so many things I need to highlight here. One is your perception of initially that you want to do something, right? And not waiting for things come from the sky and make yourself a victim. You need to pay the bills. how can I pay the bill? It's knocking the door. So it's amazing that you are saying this, because this past week I had four people that did some work with me, and the time when they expose themselves to go and find a job instead of just applying and waiting for that is when they get something very good, right? And it's also the way you present yourself, not as a victim, but I'm here to contribute, and I want to pay my bills, and I can do something to get this done and help your um, organization. So the other thing is you getting knowledge, more knowledge, right? And seeing the perspective of uh, growing inside of the field. So you went to, because you had a logistic background, and then going to that job, you don't set yourself just to be there forever. You want to learn something that's more interesting, more. So you gave yourself the opportunity to grow, and having the opportunity to say, hey, this is not for me anymore. I need to go. And some people, they don't have the courage to leave a job because they feel afraid of. And of course, we feel afraid to leave anything that is secure. But is the question is, what is out there for me that I can feel more congruent with myself? So I remember when you sent me a message that you had, let's have a chat. And it's the great thing when you connect with people and you have a genuine relationship, right? So Daniel is a wonderful man, and regarding as well as a professional and as a human being. And I have been very blessed to get to know him and being able to connect many people with him also. And he has done a great job helping people that I just referred to him. And it's a wonderful thing when we have this kind of relationships that is so much there that we can nurture, that is not just a question of interest, but being more genuine, being human beings and having these relationships. So I'm so glad for you.
Yes, that's correct. I'm really glad that I met him too. He's a wonderful human being. Yeah, I cannot ask for a better person to help me at all. He's wonderful.
Yes. So the other thing is regarding also the when you came to Australia, did you come to Australia by yourself, or did you come with a family?
So I came first by myself, but I had a partner at that time. So she came after three. I arrived first for three first months. So I will settle the things a bit and get at least a room and all sort of stuff. And after 3 months, she came back. She came from Colombia, but it happens a lot too. After 6 months, 7 months, she wasn't happy, and she went back home. So we ended up the relationship there.
Okay. Yeah, it happens,
Fair
right?
enough. It's fair.
It's
Yes, it's normal. It's a normal thing. It's not for her. It wasn't for her, and that's fine. Can we do?
so coming to Australia, Dave, as you said, as a skilled person, as a permanent visa, and you arrive like, what can I do now? So what roadblocks you saw in front of you that you didn't expect, you never thought that would find this kind of roadblocks in front of you? So the one was finding a job, right? And but what were the kind of things that you felt like, well, I didn't expect this, it was not in my plans?
What is expected? Yeah. I would say the language, because you study English and you think you are prepared, but unless you are out there talking to it, and it is not the same as the school. So that was one of the things. The other thing is the how the Australians are. That's the other thing.
The cultural
Um,
part.
the cultural, exactly, the cultural impact, definitely that. Um, there's there's a lot of ranges. I would say there's some big ranges of good people, bad people everywhere, isn't it? But yeah, definitely they have some marked, some specific behavior that you have to know how to sort it out, because sometimes they are, for example, they're quite direct with stuff, and you feel like, oh, you shouldn't say that, but that's how they are, and you feel like in a cultural background, it's you don't you try to be more diplomatic and polite with some of stuff you say, but sometimes there's no filter. Yeah, in Australia. So you have to learn when somebody said, when somebody talked to you, or when the professional environment, you have to be aware of it and don't take it personally, definitely, because it's not about that. It's just how they are. Is That's it. And 5 minutes after that, they're fine with you. So it's exactly. It's nothing personal. They don't want to hurt you. They don't want to hurt your feelings. It's just how they are. Um, that's one of the things. The other one is, yeah, the job, definitely. I thought it was easy to find a job, but it wasn't. Definitely wasn't. I think networking wise, it's hard to, because you think it would be easier with people but you need a big network to make the things happen, or to know the right person. Yes, pretty much those.
Yeah. So the question isn't working, is investing on networking. It's not just getting to know someone to find you a job, but to create these relationships, right?
Yes, correct.
Nurture the relationship. So, and in this case, getting through all these roadblocks or things that were a little bit difficult, let's say this way. So, when you look back to your journey,
Yep.
would you do everything as you did, or would you change some things?
I will change one thing, yes, to make the decision years before what the time I did. I should have done that, migrate to Australia, not in 2000, and not to make the decision in 2009, make the decision in 2006, 2004, something like that. I would say that's the only regret I got. It took me a fair bit to make the decision.
Okay, so when you say to make the decision, was the decision to move or
To move, to start the process, to
to start
migrate.
the process? And what
Yeah.
was holding you back there in this case? It was
What is
like
that, sorry?
afraid of leaving the family, living in, or not,
Oh,
no, what was
I,
holding you back?
yes, at that time, I was a young professional, so I just wanted to work and get some stability and find a job, and I was jumping in from a job to another. So sometimes you get one job and you think, yes, this is stable, I can stay here, I can grow here, and then suddenly, no, there's no more options to grow, or you have to move because the company is doing some changes, and they make you redundant. So those sort of stuff is happening back home a lot. There's not much stability. So yes, it took me a fair of those thinking process to get to think to make decisions. That, you know what, this is not working here. I need to see. I need to get another get to go to another place and see if I can make it.
Yes. And now they have been here for 2014 to now is 9 years now,
9 years, yes, that's
9 years.
correct. 9 years.
9 years. And so
Yes.
how you see yourself now living in Australia and enjoying what you are enjoying now, because I see that you are so happy doing what you are doing. What is the next step for you? What is out there that you wanted to achieve? If it's a secret, it's a secret, but if you have anything that you can share.
No, no, it's fine. I think financially we are becoming more stable. We bought a house in 2-3 years ago, and that I think uh, that makes you that's a settle. That's it. You made it. Finally, you made it.
When
Yes,
you say
exactly.
we, let's get
Oh
things
yes.
clear.
Okay. So yes, here we go. I have a partner right now. Yes, I met a Colombian girl here in Perth. That happened 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So we moved together. We lived in a unit for 3 years, and then I decided I told her we need to stop renting. We need to buy a house, and we went to the market. We found a really good option. It was a really good price, and we bought it. From scratch. We built it. We bought the land and and we built the house. And we have been living from the house for 3 years. So yes, that's we made it pretty much. That's the thing. And now we are thinking in going further with another house. So
Investing now.
exactly, that's the next step, investing.
Making money, girl, right?
Exactly, that is correct.
So I
That's the
remember, I
idea.
believe when I met you guys, you were living a small apartment, remember?
Yes.
We had and then you had some conversations, you and Diana, and she's an engineer too, or she's from occupational health and safety, right?
She has a bachelor in engineering she's a environmental
Environmental, yes.
engineer. She's an
Yes.
environmental engineer. And she's working here as a health and safety consultant.
That's it. See, I get
So
some of
she's
that.
really good.
And I think she
Yeah,
got the
she's
job first than you, right? When she came to do, she came
she,
straight away, she got the
yeah,
job. Yeah, that's I
straight
remember
away.
in the time you were just moving from the apartment they were there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
right.
remember that. So
Yeah,
uh
yeah.
Dave, now
Yeah.
that you have done this process, thinking back
Mhm.
about someone who is outside of Australia and would like to come to Australia, and you said that was the time that you spent about the decision that was too long. So,
Mhm.
and also you had 2 years to plan everything anyway, because you're applying
Yeah.
for the visa and going through the whole process of ticking boxes. So if you can give an advice or a suggestion to someone who is outside of Australia, because I get lots of people sending a message to me saying, I want to go to Australia, what can I do? And what you, as Dave, with experience that you have today, what would you advise someone who is outside of Australia that they could do to make their lives more straightforward, let's say this way,
Yeah.
when they come to Australia?
I would say set a plan. Just spend 3 weeks, a month, or make a plan. Make it. So what do you want to do? You want to go as a student? Go as a student, but don't stay there. So what is your plan? In a year, get a student, get your English exam or English studies done, ticket. After the first year, I'm gonna study. I don't know. I'm gonna follow my bachelor's of mechanical engineering, so I'm gonna do a diploma bachelor's engineering here in Australia. Or if you want to start from scratch, start from scratch. But the main thing is make a plan and see and set some goals regarding that plan. Don't come to Australia just as a student and I'm not sure what I'm doing next. No, you come with a plan and then you will follow that plan and you have to be really disciplined on that plan and follow it.
Discipline is everything, right? So it
Yeah,
can take a little longer, but when you know where you are
yes,
going
definitely.
and you do every day something that gets you towards what you want, that makes a big difference.
Yeah, definitely.
And for someone who is here, they are studying, they don't know how they pay the bills, how they renew their visa, or how they pay the next course. So what would you, and of course, many of them, the majority of them, they have a background already, they have experience in their field. What would you advise them to do?
I would say your time will come. So be patient and keep doing it. Don't stop doing it. If you have sent 10,000 resumes, send 2,000. Just keep trying because it will sooner or later it will happen. But you have to push it. You have to push it. You have to go to the process of. It is hard, but it is what it is. I was talking to my brother about that and I showed him, listen, this is my list of resumes that I sent. It was less than 300. No,
300,
no less than 300.
less than 300, but almost there, right?
Exactly. That's like a normal process to do, and you cannot just give up. You have to keep trying it, keep trying it, keep trying it, and not only sending resumes. You can go to, in our case as engineers Australia, they have seen some chats, some chats or some conversations, some
Networking.
like networking meetings and so sort of stuff. Doesn't matter if you don't have a job as an engineer, go there and meet people. And that's the other thing that maybe is a bit of you're afraid of it, and we are afraid of it because English is not our first language, and then you have to expose yourself to these people that know that are knowledgeable and they're working in the field for a long time. But that's I have to do. You have to do it, and that's the way you grow your network, and then it will definitely, if you follow that path, it will definitely um, um, you will reach the goal of finding your dream job or your dream or your goal.
Yes. And talking about your brother, thank you very much for referring him to come to work with me.
Yeah,
It's a very, I was very impressed
that's
by
good.
his resume and his
Yeah,
experience. And
yeah,
it's like you, his time is it will come.
yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
it's just the question that we need to do things more, let's say, more planned for him to be able to get where he wants to be. That's
Yeah,
thank you for
definitely.
that.
Yeah,
And what kind, this is a question that I asked you, oh,
yeah.
I guess, yeah. What kind of food do you miss from home that you, when you get it, you say like, ah.
my my mom's food.
Oh, your mom's food.
That's it. That's it.
Because
That's
you
it.
have a big Colombian community here in Perth,
Yeah,
right? It's huge.
yeah,
So it's, I believe it's like equal resilience now. Before
yeah.
it was not this way.
Wow.
Argentinians were before, and then
Yeah,
I had some Uruguayans, and now the Colombians are very
yeah.
huge here, the number.
Community here. Yeah,
So, and you have lots of Colombians food around, like
yeah,
it's Brazilians, but the mom's
yeah.
food, there is nothing that can beat
Yeah, there's nothing can be that. Exactly. The
that.
soup and the everything, everything. I miss the soup stuff. The soups are really good. My mom's
Yes.
soups.
What kind of soup do you have there?
Veggies, we got the chicken soup. Um, what else? We got this with how do you call it? With oats. Ah, my goodness.
Ah,
Yeah,
especially now in the winter, right? That kind of,
yeah,
oh, that kind of soup it would go pretty well.
yeah, yeah, yeah. For the weather,
Oh,
perfect for the
that's
weather.
so wonderful. That's so
Yeah,
wonderful. So,
yeah.
thank you very much for sharing your experience, your journey coming to Australia. Because there are many people out there that they feel that they are not lucky enough or they don't deserve enough to be here in Australia.
Mhm.
And they play the second class citizen syndrome because they
Yeah,
don't feel confident enough that
yeah,
to believe that you have their opportunity. It's just a question of time, and they need
yeah.
to do something that brings them toward what they want. It's not just waiting the universe to bring everything to them, right? So,
Correct.
and
Yeah,
you
that's true.
you showed here that you were very diligent going towards your goals and looking for new opportunities, especially learning something that you saw as an opportunity to grow, and also getting information that people told you, people in the field said, wait a minute, it's a good profession and you can be rewarded with this. So you wait for the time that you had to stay there instead of getting, oh, I'm leaving. So well
Yeah,
done for being
thank you.
patient and for also to have the vision where you want to be and working towards that. So well done. Well done.
Thank you. Yes,
And
thank you so much.
yes, so thank you very much for you guys that watched this episode with me chatting with David. And remember to subscribe. And if you have any comments, just leave below, and we'll be able to answer your all your questions there. So have a wonderful evening today, David, and thank you very much. And I'm very happy.
Thank you.
Keep moving
Thank you.
forward. See ya.
Thank you. See you next time.
Done, baby.
Yay, good.
See, it's
Great.
not a big thing. It's just a
Oh,
conversation.
oh my goodness.
And you did pretty well. So
Thank you.
what happened next is I use send to edit. So my
Yep.
man, you edit. Uh,
Yes.
yes, he's my editor for the videos. And then when it's ready, I send you a message with a link for the pre-launch, so the premiere, and then you can distribute the link to your family, to your friends. And if you have Instagram, just send it to
Yep.
me that I tag you also
Oh,
when I post in there. Okay, because
definitely.
I do on the stories and I do also a post about you and also I do on LinkedIn. So
Oh, perfect.
yeah, so people will want you, right? So
Great.
now
Yay.
Danielle needs to keep you. So
Yeah.
he got a new mechanical engineer that came through
Hey.
Brazilian. Did you know
Yep.
that?
No, no.
She's also working with him. She just moved to his company. She came
Wow.
to Brazil by the end of November last year,
Oh,
and
perfect.
she was applying for jobs, not getting anything. So we did a work together. And in February, she started working for a company. She did a 3 months probation. And then before the probation, they gave her 20% increase in her salary. And then but she came to me and said, "Oh my goodness."
Look at this baby. Look at this baby.
So my dog is the same color. And then she said, "Sema, can I talk to you?" I said, because when she got the job that she got, she signed the contract. And after she signed the contract, she got two job offers, one paying $2,000 more, another one $50,000 more. I said, "Look,"
Oof.
I said to her, "You signed the contract. You cannot say anything that you are leaving the company because it's not the right thing to do. So
Yeah,
do probation. If you like it, stay there. You'll not be there forever anyway." So she did. So before she finished the probation, they offered her a 20% increase in her salary. But Daniel came, and I believe he watched her interview that I did with her on my channel.
Oh, wow.
And he came to her and then said, "Daniel just offered him the job, and it's the same that I used to do back home, and I'm very do." And
that's amazing.
Yeah, she said, "My only concern is because his company is new." I said, "Look, everything in life is a risk. If you feel like you need to believe in yourself, give yourself the chance. So you are young, and then you can learn more." And I think it's a pretty good. So she's starting on Tuesday.
Oh, perfect. That's really nice. Yeah, that's good.
So she's a very,
good job.
very strong knowledge in reliability.
Reliability. Oh, yeah. That's what they need these days in mining. Yeah.
Yes, so she's back to her career. So I'm very
Perfect.
glad for her. And I said to her, I'm sending a message to Danielle, say, "Hey, guy, you need to give me a ceviche because now
Jesus Christ.
you have two people that I sent to you lately. Let's go."
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Just have fun with him, because
Yeah.
he said, "Oh, he'll make one. Let's see." So anyway, David, thank you very much. My regards to Diana, and I do my best to help your brother to get what he wants. Okay.
Yes, definitely. Thank you very much. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you too, and enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Do the weekend. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao,
Yeah.
ciao.